Do you think leadership lesson can be learned from the timeless lesson in leadership and that the ancient Indian epic and scripture provides? Welcome to this session on resolving paradoxes and ethical dilemmas using the ancient wisdom of the Mahabharata. Today, we examine two contrasting leadership models, the rigid loyalty of Bhishma and the principled pragmatism of Krishna. By exploring their lives, we can learn how to navigate the complex moral landscapes of modern management. Bhishma, the loyal servant to Hastinapur. Bhishma was not an ordinary leader, he was a man who sacrificed personal desire so that the kingdom of Hastinapur could stand. He served as its most loyal servant, securing brides for kings and providing education and training to both the Kauravas and the Pandavas. For Bhishma, stability mattered more than personal ambition, yet this very loyalty eventually led to a tragic paradox. Despite his discipline, Bhishma's life was marked by significant faults. He remained silent during the public disrobing of Draupadi and was responsible for the abduction of Amba. Because he chose to protect a system rather than listen to his conscience, his ignored mistakes returned to haunt him, leading to his eventual fall. Leadership often fails not because of bad intentions, but because leaders cannot resolve paradoxes. A paradox consists of complementary but opposing forces that must be integrated. Bhishma faced three primary paradoxes: loyalty to individuals versus truth, short-term versus long-term goals, and sometimes versus always values. Bhishma remained loyal to the king but forgot his responsibility to the kingdom. He focused so deeply on how to serve, the means, that he never questioned where his service was leading, the ends. He was authentic only when it was convenient, remaining ethical when it suited his duty but silent when it required moral courage. Mature leadership is about both and vision, holding opposites together, such as pragmatism and idealism, or execution and ethics. The lesson from Bhishma is to be loyal to truth rather than titles. Before making any commitment, a leader must understand its future impact, as an unexamined promise can shape an entire destiny. Unlike Bhishma, Krishna's leadership began with survival. Born to Devaki and Vasudeva, his birth was a threat to the tyrant King Kansa. Through foresight and strategy, he was moved to Gokul to grow up among the people. He eventually ended Kansa's tyranny, prioritizing stability over revenge and shifting the capital to Dwarka. Although Krishna was deeply connected to the Pandavas, he never claimed a throne for himself. He chose influence over authority, serving as a strategist, a guide, and an ambassador. This marks the beginning of true leadership, knowing how to lead without the need for a crown. When war became inevitable, Krishna made the surprising choice not to lead an army, but to become Arjuna's charioteer. He took a vow not to raise a single weapon. This choice symbolizes a leader's role as a facilitator, one who guides the journey and provides direction without doing the fighting for others. On the battlefield, when Arjuna collapsed under moral confusion, Krishna did not offer mere comfort, he offered clarity. Their conversation, the Bhagavad Gita, explores duty, detachment, and ethics in conflict. Krishna teaches that inner peace is not the absence of war, but the presence of right action. Krishna's leadership was defined by principled pragmatism. He facilitated the fall of Bhishma, Drona, and Karna because their rigid adherence to rules could no longer protect justice. He showed that when a system becomes corrupt, leaders must have the courage to act pragmatically to restore righteousness. Krishna never abandoned values, he anchored every decision in justice, compassion, and righteousness. For him, pragmatism was a last resort guided by deep awareness. He teaches modern leaders to be clear about their goals and ensure those goals serve an ethical purpose, not just an ego. The Mahabharata Code provides a leadership triangle for modern times. The first level is the individual, where leadership begins within. Leaders must find peace with their identity to avoid moral hypocrisy, preaching values while acting otherwise. Self-awareness and forgiveness are key to maintaining judgment. The second level is the organization, focusing on the positive use of power and politics with empathy. The third level is the external environment, where leaders must resolve the paradoxes of loyalty versus truth. Sustainable leadership occurs when inner clarity, organizational ethics, and external responsibility align. Whether viewed as a god or a strategist, Krishna represents the ultimate model of awareness, courage, and responsibility. His life teaches us that values without action are weak, and action without values is dangerous. These ancient stories remain a vital code for modern leadership. Thank you for watching.